to for these calls we have to do them on Zoom. It's a Facebook thing. So
shoot, I don't know why it won't let me. I'll come in and out again, okay?
okay, all right. Hey everybody. So it's our weekly call. Usually Wes Walker is here with me, but he's actually got an important appointment to show a $6 million listing today. So I asked another colleague of mine, Anne Lenzini, to join me, and we're having, as usual, technical difficulties, but she'll be on in a minute. I just thought it would be nice to have Anne share with us some of her experience and what's going on in the market. Anne has been in real estate a very long time, as have we all. She lives in the Villa, which is like Addison and Pulaski neighborhood, and is the expert for the Villa, right, Anne?
I sure am. Love it. Live here. And I'm sorry, Mary, I don't know what's wrong with my video. Do you want me to try to go in on my phone, or we'll just do the audio?
Well, do you have your camera turned on?
Yeah,
if you
I do. It just keeps.
If you look
keeps
down the bottom left, the video, the little camera thing is on.
Yeah, it has a line through it. And
Yeah,
it says,
the line through it means your camera shut off.
Right, and when I try to click on it, I get cannot start video, failed to start the video camera. Please select another video camera in settings. Geez, this has never happened to me before. Of course,
no, I'm so bummed. Well, never mind. We'll just do it as a phone call then, and
okay,
not worry about it. And because who knows, right?
Right. I'll keep playing at it while we're talking, but darn it, I'm such a technology failure. But
well,
yes, back to the Villa.
Aren't we all? Yeah, back to the Villa. So the Villa is what, about 125 properties total?
Yes, it's 100, actually I think 126 homes, and it's 3.5 streets. It's a small little triangle, and it was established in the late 70s as a historic district to try to keep the integrity of the neighborhood. So you cannot make any changes to the facade, and you cannot make changes without them being okayed by the Landmark Historic District. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I always find interesting, though, is it does not dictate what color you can paint your house. So you could have this beautiful historic house and paint it pink, and that is not a problem, which I always think is kind of ironic.
That is kind of ironic, huh? Or purple, or you could do a purple people eater house.
There you go, there you go. But it is really a hidden gem in the city, and it's just charming arts and crafts homes that were built at the turn of the century. And I always tell people, as charming as it looked, that is how it is. It really is a charming neighborhood where people know each other. They're out on their front porch, and you can be all involved, or you can just enjoy the ambiance from your front porch.
It actually is kind of a triangular shaped area because of the expressway comes in there and cuts it off, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's because it's Avondale is one of the borders, which runs against the tracks, which runs against the Kennedy Expressway.
Right.
And then it's Pulaski and Addison. And for those people that are listening that don't know the Villa, I would say, like half the people I talk to know it and love it, and the other half don't know it.
But to me, go ahead, Anne.
I was gonna say that's because it's so small. But if I say to people, it's that area by Old Irving Park, just east of Smoke. If you drive down Addison, you'll see the stone pillars, you'll see the meridians or the parkways down the middle of the street. And that will get a few more, I know that, a light bulb goes off.
Right. Yeah, Smoke, and one of the best barbecue places in the city, right? Love Smoke.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
love smoke. And sometimes if the wind is going in the right direction, we can smell it.
Oh, lovely. And the other great thing about the Villa too is that you've got easy access to the Blue Line and Metro. There's a metro station right there.
Yes.
So you can be downtown, and you can be downtown either down what does it go down Dearborn, right? The Dearborn Street.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
is the Blue Line. You can be downtown in about 20 minutes, I think, from the Blue Line. In fact, when I lived in Mayfair, I used to drive to that station. I'd get on, I'd park just south of the expressway on Pulaski because you could park there. And I'd get on the Blue Line right there, and it was quicker than driving, actually.
Right. Well, because we're right on the expressway too, it is so convenient. I found when we moved up here and we've been living in Lakeview, I could get downtown quicker from up here, even though it's further than I could from Lakeview because of the expressway. Because when you're Lakeview, you know, you're driving through more traffic. So that was a pleasant surprise that I was not expecting. And we've lived up here in this area for 30 years now.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You are the neighborhood expert then.
Yes, I certainly am. And then, like I say, I'm the expert. I know it, but I love it too. It's been a great place to
it was always kind of comparable to people who know this little pocket to Ravenswood Manor. But
I think so, yeah.
But Ravenswood or Ravenswood Gardens, which is on the east bank of the river, Ravenswood Gardens is maybe 100 properties, but they're two separate neighborhood associations. Ravenswood Manor is about 625, 650 properties, something like that, somewhere between.
Oh, much bigger, yeah.
So much bigger. But Ravenswood Gardens, which is at the river between Montrose and Wilson, let's call it. Well, really the tracks come in there, but so Eastwood, Wilson, Windsor, Agatite, those are the streets on Ravenswood Gardens. That they have two separate neighborhood associations, but yeah, that's what's so great about Chicago, right? All the little pocket neighborhoods that people kind of find, because, well, the way I discovered Ravenswood Manor actually is I was out in a blizzard. This was back in the late 70s. I'm kind of dating myself now, but I was out in a blizzard and I had a car that needed to get to the mechanic, and I couldn't. I was trying to drive to get there, and en route my battery died, and I ended up on a side street in Ravenswood Manor. And I'm like, wow, this is a really nice neighborhood. Where the heck am I? And I don't think I'm unique in that regard. I think that's how people end up making a wrong turn or whatever, and end up finding it. And I suspect the Villa is very similar to that.
Right. And like I was saying, yeah, a lot of people don't know where it is. And I was just like the people that I described, where, you know, it's the neighborhood with the stone pillars and the parkways down the middle of the street. And we lived in Old Irving for about 10 years before we moved over here. And yeah, nobody knew where it was. And the funny thing was, we wanted to move into this neighborhood, but we didn't think we could afford it. So we found something else. And it was, you know, in retrospect, let me tell everybody out there, you probably can afford it. I mean, we were being penny wise and pound foolish, but that's okay. We love living in Old Irving Park too. And where we lived over there is just a beautiful area too. Yeah. I like these areas because they're like you say, like special little pockets. And then I think they're more neighborly. The other thing I really like about the Villa and the areas around and I was just talking about Old Irving Park too, is the lot sizes are often big. Now in the Villa, almost every home sits on a double lot. So almost every home is on a 50-foot wide lot. So which gives you more character, more charm that I keep touting here. And then also and more sunlight, because, you know, you don't have somebody right up against you. So our house is real sunny and on a nice wide lot. Although our lot's short because of those parkways down the middle of the street, they took away some of our lot space, but it's worth it.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. No, it's really
so pretty.
Very charming, and it's a great little neighborhood. And what's the big Catholic church and school that's just east of you there on Addison? I'm drawing.
It's St. Viator's. A couple of my children went there.
Right.
They have a strong community. It's nice.
And the high school there on Milwaukee and Addison, that's walking distance too, right? Is that
right?
That's a landmark. That's a landmark building too.
Right. It's just gorgeous. Arts and craft building built by, now I forget who, but it was a famous architect. They, you know, sometimes we'll have tours and whatnot. And the school, they now have an IB program. They've really been working on the school to make it more desirable.
Great.
Yeah.
So give me a quick synopsis. What are you seeing in the market? Are we having spring market? Or is it just kind of, I mean, interest rates are climbing and inventory is down, prices are climbing. I mean, what are you experiencing, Anne?
I'm experiencing a little bit of stuck in the middle, where, you know, I'm having to be a lot more creative with what I'm finding for people. You really can't sit there and wait for that perfect thing, because it may not come, or it may come and there'll be so many offers out there. It just won't be something that'll work out for you. So, you know, I'm encouraging my buyers to, you know, think outside the box. Maybe, you know, everybody wants to move. A lot of people want move-in condition. You know, maybe if it needed a roof, that wouldn't be that bad. That's not as disruptive. Now, if it needs a new kitchen, I'm not going to lie to you, that's going to be disruptive. But, you know, maybe think about that. And then, you know, we're trying all sorts of, you know, creative ways of looking at things that are in the private listing network that haven't gone to market yet. But I do find that it's a little bit slow for me personally. I've been a little bit slower because it's just a little bit harder to find something. And then I have several sellers that need to need to buy before they can sell. And so that's holding them up too.
Right.
Because it's, you know, and I unfortunately have one seller that, you know, last year was super picky, and now I need to tell them, as hard as you thought it was last summer, it's not going to be any different this summer, and may even be a little bit harder.
No,
I'm finding it a little bit harder. Yeah.
Well, I know who you're talking about, and I think he made a huge mistake. Actually,
I know.
The prices have only continued to rise, and now the interest rates are over 4%, is what I heard on Friday.
Yeah.
On the third, you know, I mean, obviously, it depends on what kind of what your credit rating is, and all those things. And if one of the things I've discussed with one of my buyers is that rather than go with a 30-year fixed rate, because the truth of the matter is how many people keep a loan for 30 years? Even, I mean, now you've lived in your house for 30 years, so maybe,
yeah.
but even if you live in your house that long, it doesn't mean, usually you want to tap some of that capital and take it out for whatever reason, to refinance because rates go down or whatever. Probably when you took out the mortgage to buy that house, you probably were looking at a 15% interest rate or something. 12,
yeah.
10 or 12, you know, whatever.
Right.
You know, whatever it was. And so, you know, it begins to make sense to refi. So what I often tell my buyers is, even if you think this is your like forever home and you're going to live here, you know, they're going to carry you out on a pine box or on a stretcher or something, it probably doesn't, you might as well look into the adjustable rate mortgages. There's 5 and 7 year adjustable rate loans, and you can save quite a bit of interest on. You know.
Oh, that's a good thought. Yeah, I've not been really, because for so long we weren't doing adjustable rate. It just didn't make sense. So that's a really good thought.
I mean, the rates were so historically low that why would you lock that in? I mean, I get that, but even as low as a 30-year rates were, some of the 15 years last year were like 2.5%.
Wow. Yeah. So that's something good to think about.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, it's with in a rising I mean, the rates are still, to have an interest rate even in the 4s is pretty friggin' amazing. And
I know, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, you know, everybody gets all caught up and the rates are going up. And then when you really take it apart and look at it, it's like, wow, it's still so much good, so much better than our parents, and so much better from what I remember from, you know, a long time ago. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, and so if somebody wants to give you a call and talk to you about the villa, how do they get a hold of you?
They can call me, send me a smoke signal, do what a shout from the highest tree. But the easiest way is to call or text me at 773-203-2167. I'll say it again.
Yeah,
773-203-2167. And they can always find me too, like on the Compass website, look me up. And my last name's Lenzini, pretty phonetic, L-E-N-Z as in zebra, I-N-I. And I'd love to tell anyone that wants to hear more about the villa.
And it's Anne.Lenzini@compass.com, right? Pretty
Correct.
easy, right? Yep.
Yes, yes.
Good. Well, thanks so much for filling in for our buddy Wes today. I was just while you were having challenges getting on, I was letting people know that he's out showing his $5.8 million listing.
Oh,
So
I hope that's a great showing.
I guess that was more important than what we're doing.
Than your audience. Oh, I don't think that it's necessarily more important. It was just a shift of priorities for the moment.
I'm just busting his chops. I'll give him a hard time next week when he's back on.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
thanks for having me, Mary. I love chatting.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. I mean, it was such a beautiful day yesterday. First day of spring, and
how appropriate, right?
And today I'm looking at my thermometer and it's in the 60s already. And I think
it is supposed to get up to 70, but I think it's going to be the last day of warm, isn't it? Or
I don't know.
Over average warm.
You know what? If you enjoy the weather, you better get out and enjoy it while you can, because it's not going to last.
Yes. You know what? Unfortunately, I'm looking at my app. It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Okay, but at least it won't be snow. At least
that's right. No snow. I think we're done with snow for the season. Although my husband reminded me of the last 100 years. I think he said all but 3 years we had snow in April.
Oh, wow. Well, I remember in April, I don't remember when this was. I think it was back in the 70s. There was the April Fool's blizzard and we got like a foot of snow on April 1st. Something like that. I remember because I was dating my husband at the time. It tells you how old I am. But we were dating and we were supposed to go out for dinner, and he was stranded. Of course, in those days we didn't have cell phones, and
right.
And, he would stop at a payphone and call me. He says, "I'm on my way. Wait for me. I'm waiting. Don't leave. I'm on my way." And he finally showed up. It took him like 2 hours, but anyway, yeah, I know. You never know in Chicago.
I know. I know. All right. Well, and on that cheerful note, we'll just make sure we enjoy today.
Exactly right. Well, thanks so much, Anne, for covering. It was great talking to you. And I'm sorry
about the audio.
I'm sorry they can't see your smiling face.
Oh, I know, and I'm having a good hair day too. So.
Oh, are you got that cute flip that you've been wearing? The cute.
There you go. Yeah, my kind of shag look. Yeah.
Oh, nice, very nice. All right, good. Thanks, Anne. Everybody have a good week.
All right, bye, Mary. Thank you.
Bye-bye.